onto the field. Number 12, Tom Brady, making his 128th consecutive start. Didn't play it down in the preseason. 50 TD passes last year. Over the middle, Randy Moss. Just shy of the 45-yard line.
And already you can see that Josh McDaniels is calling a game where he's going to send people from all different directions, get everybody involved. A crossing pattern here against the zone defense against Randy Moss. And the Chiefs are giving all of the Patriots receivers a big cushion. That cross underneath is always going to be there for 7 or 8 yards. This is a defensive secondary that is so young, they can't be fans. They can't afford to say, oh my gosh, that's Tom Brady, that's Randy Moss.
Now on first down, Brady throwing. That's complete to Earth. Randy Moss, and Moss out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Another first down.
And a bullet from Tom Terrific. Randy Moss just takes a look and just a simple skinny post right down the middle. He's getting such a cushion from Surtain. And the safeties for Kansas City, I think, are so deep, they're nowhere to be seen. They're so afraid of Moss and Brady going up over the top. There is a lot of room in those intermediate routes.
Brady, with time, hit as he throws the ball. That is complete. Randy Moss, and Moss lost the football.
And Tom Brady got hit right on the knee. He got hit right on the knee. Kansas City came up with the ball, but that's not the story. Tom Brady took a tremendous hit as he released that ball right on his left leg. Watch at the conclusion of this play. Tom's standing there. He's going to step into it, and right there, his left leg gets flexed. That's Bernard Pollard, the blitzer, who falls into the left knee of Tom Brady. You can see it flex. Right there, you can see how it flexes and then how awkwardly
Tom Brady being helped off the field and off the premises for the time being. Limping, but walking. And we, of course, will get an update on you as soon as we can.
Let's go back and watch this play to conclusion at the end, where Kansas City ends up with the ball. We're obviously very fixated on what happened. But again, it's a clean catch, but Randy Moss, as he goes to the ground on his own without being knocked down, spits out the ball, and Brandon Carr recovers.
You know, the New England Patriots lost just 6 fumbles all last season. They've lost 2 today.
Yeah. And Randy Moss, I'm sure, can't hardly believe it. But remember, this is the NFL. He could have hit the ground and gotten back up and run with the football. So if the ball comes out when he goes down like that without being hit from a member of the other team, it's a free football. It's a live ball.
Matt Cassel getting loose on the sideline. Cassel going to throw it. And he hits his man Randy Moss. Moss to midfield into Kansas City territory for a first down. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf back at Foxborough for the start of the second quarter. The Patriots minus Tom Brady. But Randy Moss, 51 big yards on that last reception, has gone over the 100-yard mark already. Let's go back to that big play, Cassel to Moss.
Well, from your half-yard line, Kansas City really overplays the run. Patrick Surtain thinks he's got safety help. He does, but it is so late in getting there. John McGraw, number 47, so late coming over, and Matt Cassel with a great play-action fake and a line and backs that gave him all the time in the world, dropped one right onto the hands of Randy Moss.
56 times Moss has gone over 100 yards receiving in a game. Now 3rd and 8, and the Chief defense trying to hold. Cassel to the end zone. Touchdown! Randy Moss. And a pretty good throw by Matt Cassel.
Yeah, well, first of all, great protection. Great protection. But Randy Moss at 6'4", with arms that make it more like 6'7", a perfect target to put the ball up high. But look at the protection. Matt Cassel had a chance to pump once, step up, and Randy Moss elevates and brings it down.
Matt Cassel on the throwing end of Randy Moss's 125th career touchdown catch. 7-0 New England.
And right now, I think everyone here is wondering what kind of week it's going to be in New England until they find out how badly Tom Brady is hurt.
Randy Moss helping pick up the pace. Already over 100 yards receiving today.
Of course, Tom Brady, a week ago, with the torn ACL, MCL, and his season finishes so fast. And what about Randy Moss? He has not been thrown to so far.
No, he hasn't been thrown to yet, but they are looking his way. Darrelle Revis is matching up with him, it looks like, a lot of the times. And sometimes when Randy Moss is on one side of the field and three receivers are on the other side, that's up to the quarterback if he wants to take a chance and throw it up there. But so far, the Jets, they've kept a free guy or a free defender over there watching Randy Moss.
3rd down and 12. And there is Moss, short of the first. Jets gave him the underneath stuff. Revis on the tackle. Got 9, but they needed 12. Now Cassel on the slant. He's got Moss, but a flag. His second catch of the game, but will it hold up? He'll throw it down the field for the first time. It's a wobbler, but it's caught. No, it's dropped by Moss at the 10-yard line. It was not a clean release by Cassel.
No, it wasn't. He felt pressure coming from his right side. And when you try to put that extra oomph on the ball sometimes, that's when you lose control of it. Oh, and I don't think Randy Moss was supposed to run that route. When you see him raise their hand, he noticed that Darrelle Revis was maybe playing the inside route, so he just went right by him.
Moss was held to just 2 catches for 22 yards, his lowest as a Patriot last week. Going to get into what changes we expect to see now from New England without Tom Brady in the lineup. Here's Cassel throwing, moving pocket. On 1st down, he gets Randy Moss involved with a short pop of 5 yards. That's not realistic, and they know that 2007 is now a distant memory.
Well, you got to give it to the head coach, Bill Belichick. They can morph this offense into one that's going to get shorter throws, like what you see on the outcut to Randy Moss. Getting the ball to him early in this game is very important.
Cassel operating out of the shotgun on a 2nd and 4. Another quick through on the turn by Moss, and he's got a 1st down at midfield. So a conscious effort to get Randy Moss more involved.
And we asked Matt Cassel yesterday, we said, what do you got to do to get Randy Moss the football? He said, hey, it's not my job to figure out how to get Randy Moss the football. It's the coach's job to figure out how I can get it to him. And early on, Josh McDaniels coming out and saying, hey, let's run the quick, short out routes and get the ball in the hands of Randy Moss.
Cassel throwing on the sideline route, Randy Moss. And Moss already has more catches today than he had all of last week. That covers 6 yards, but they've been modest gains. They've not looked for the home run ball yet. 3 catches for 18 yards, averaging 6 yards a reception so far for Moss.
Everyone has been playing Randy Moss in double coverage with safety help over the top. Ronaldo Hill has been some 20 yards down the field playing over the top of the corner to Randy Moss's side.
Still waiting to see if New England will try to throw the deep ball to Randy Moss. That has not been part of the repertoire so far. Cassel, he was looking for Moss. Incomplete.
Okay, now I got to tell you right now, that ball was thrown on the money. I didn't see Randy Moss go with any kind of exuberance to go inside and try to catch this ball. See the little short give up there? I could see Randy Moss shutting it down and maybe downshifting as you have to attack that ball. And I think Cassel put the ball right on the spot where he expected Randy Moss to be.
Sammy Morris in there running back. Cassel pump fake. And a wounded duck down the sideline, and it's caught by Hill. A stunner in Foxborough, and the streak is over. After 21 consecutive regular season victories, the Patriots fall to the Miami Dolphins, 38-13.
3rd and long for Cassel out of the shotgun. Looking for Welker, rolls, and he's going to throw long for Randy Moss. He's open! and Randy Moss has a touchdown. What a throw by Cassel on the stride to Randy Moss, a 66-yard score.
He threw that ball about 70 yards. And what happened is Walt Harris, number 27, stumbles right there, and it's all over. If I'm even, I'm leaving, says Randy Moss. 6 points, Patriots.
Randy Moss's career 126th touchdown reception. Let's go back to the touchdown throw, the connection Cassel to Moss.
Just pinpoint accuracy, great length, beautiful play. I think the doctor ordered that one up or what? If he's even, he's leaving. Well, here's where Walt Harris starts out. Then they're going to move him in. They're going to mess him around. They're going to try to get him back to deep middle. And there's Randy Moss, who was right in front of him to start with.
And he's untouched all the way down the middle of the field. A lot of the Patriot fans and the media asking, why isn't Cassel throwing deep? Well, it really is an easy throw. He has a lot of confidence in throwing the deep ball.
Cassel throws right and complete to Randy Moss, and Moss run out of bounds after a gain of 5. You did have a good one, didn't you? There's a quick throw to Moss, and Moss ducks out of bounds at the 38-yard line with a first down. Moss on a 66-yard bomb has the only touchdown for New England today.
Patriots have all 3 timeouts, and this was a smart pass. And smart getting out of bounds by Randy Moss, as Nate Clemens was giving Randy Moss about 10 yards in cushion. A little bit too much.
3 catches, 89 yards for Moss.
Huge void in front of Moss.
Cassel throws, and there's Moss all alone, and another first down at the 14.
I don't get it, Randy. It's double coverage, too. Strickland to the inside, and then Clemens deep, and Moss just runs a simple out route. Good job of picking up that cushion that the 49ers are giving him.
Well, Strickland does a good job of banging him, engaging him, but there's nothing on the backside to dissuade Moss from just getting that easy pickup.
Bending and bending and maybe breaking here.
Moss over this 100-yard mark, 103 in this first half on 4 catches.
Watch Randy Moss. He's in the slot. And I realize he's not looking that way, and it wasn't designed to go that way, but they did sort of just let him run.
Yeah, and I would make sure that he was ready on every play, because down here at his height and his ability to go up and get the ball in the air.
Cassel to Moss. First down, and had he turned sharply upfield, Moss could have gotten a lot more.
Again, it's just a quick out route by Moss, and the secondary just lets him go. They're in a zone coverage that time, but Strickland turns him loose on the outside, and there's that stepping out of bounds that perhaps he wasn't quite aware of how close that out of bounds was.
Cassel was 2 for 3 for 22 yards. Off the play fake, going down the sideline, and the pass is incomplete. That was Randy Moss who was there. Quentin Jammer put an arm up and may have just deflected it barely, and it will be 2nd down and 10.
So how do you negate a player like this? You put someone close to him. You make him jamming. And that is with Quentin Jammer, a very, very physical corner who likes to dominate receivers. And Moss, this is not his strong suit. He would much prefer to roam down the field, making big plays. The one thing I've yet to see with New England's offense is I've yet to see Cassel give Moss the ability to make all the jump balls that he loves to make down the football field.
And this is the thing that's really going to help this New England offense, and Matt Cassel is throwing the ball deep to Randy Moss. You see, when he gets by the jam there, he puts his hand up, and then he means, you know, as he says, chunk it out there. See, he doesn't put the hands up where you know that he's going to catch it. He keeps them down, and he kind of just lulls you to sleep. Matt Cassel just didn't get that out there far enough.
Almost lulled Jammer, but Jammer at that last second able to raise that right arm and just get a piece of it. Fake inside, now Moss on a screen, and Randy's a yard short of the first down. 3rd and 8. Pressure. Cassel this time going deep, and the pass is fielded by Randy Moss, but he never had control of it. Quentin Jammer was there. It looked like Moss may be coming down with it, but Randy couldn't gain possession of it. Out of bounds he goes, and it's 4th down.
I like that call and I like that throw. And what the Chargers want to do is they want to press Moss. They get up on him. Oh, he did have the ball. He did have the catch. And then Jammer gets his hand in there. Watch him get that left hand in there and knock the ball out. You know, they've had a lot more one-on-one than you would anticipate. Here it was there. Cassel sees him. Just didn't get the ball out there enough. He said this is going to kind of be a zone here, and he's running in between a zone. Cassel didn't have time on that one. Here he gets one-on-one coverage, raises his hand. Jammer did a great job in knocking that ball out of there.
Terrific play. From the gun, 4-man rush. Clean pocket, caught. Moss to the 40-yard line. The ball came loose for a second, but he's able to gather it back in to keep possession after the hit by the inside linebacker Dobbins. That's a 15-yard gain for the Pats.
Yeah, and that's where Cassel had to go. You know, we talked about the medium and the deep, and it had all been short. Here's Randy Moss. He's the slot receiver here. You see him hit on his zone, come up, find a little hole in that zone, and Cassel makes a good throw to him.
On 2nd down and 2. A little bit more pressure this time from the Chargers, and the pass is incomplete. And that time Moss had actually gotten behind Antonio Cromartie, but Cromartie had good enough position. The pass was thrown short. 3rd down and 2.
Right, and now they're starting to do the things that I feel that they have to do. I mean, this is going to change the Charger defense. I mean, he just has to get there. Randy Moss gets one-on-one. He has a guy beat by 2 or 3 yards. You have to get him the ball.
Yeah.
That's why you slap both hands to your helmet.
Yeah, he actually beaten Cromartie. Cromartie started to stumble out in front. The pass wasn't even close. Well, just take a look at this play here. Did the ball hit the ground? Jammer came up with it. The defensive back is a receiver. Here is Moss. He never has control. That would be at this point an interception, but he must control it all the way to the ground. He's going down, and then the ball comes out as he hits the ground. And Cassel will throw for Moss, and that is incomplete. And Quentin Jammer has pretty much had his way with Randy tonight, doing a nice job on the coverage of Moss all evening long.
Jammer has, because he's played up pretty close to him, and he's been able to run with him, and Randy Moss hasn't used his speed just to run right by him, and on that one he couldn't do it. I mean, there wasn't enough room, but I think somewhere they have to use his speed. When they get down this close, and you can't always do it on and up, that's when you run that deep diagonal or deep crossing pattern to use the receiver's speed.
Denver at their own 44. 39 yards to the net. We'll see if Matt Cassel can get it going and find Randy deep after this. The Crafts have done a great job getting that up and running. Cassel to Moss on 1st down. Their first hookup. Right at the 1st down sticks. Gain of 9.5. Catch 21 on the year for Randy after the eye-popping season in 2007 where he had 23 touchdowns, an NFL record.
Here we go. Last season, after 5 games, these are his averages last season. But just in a comparison in terms of 5 or 5+ games at the moment, last year, 34 catches at this point, 7 TDs. This year, 20 and 2.
Well, Sammy Morris hits the hole. There's Lowry at the 40-yard line. Misses the tackle. Randy Moss downfield making a block. Not always catching it, but you can help in a lot of ways. Big runs come when wide receivers help block downfield. You don't have to knock him on the ground, but it was a good shield block by Randy Moss.
You mentioned Champ Bailey's out, still being looked at. Here's where the 8-time consecutive Pro Bowl man got hurt. Kind of a groin. Yep. Just as he was turning those hips, which he does as well as any corner still in the league, chasing down Randy.
That doesn't look good.
Cassel wants it. End zone. Moss. Touchdown. Randy was very physical with Dre Bly. No flag thrown. And a Moss touchdown.
That's one of the things that happens when Champ Bailey can't be in the game to cover Randy Moss. They've been picking on Dre Bly all year long. He gets in. Moss scores a touchdown.
Well, Moss at 6'4", long arms, matched against Dre Bly at 5'10". The physical battle is going to be won by Randy Moss. You'll see him matched up here. Dre Bly playing to the outside. Got help to the inside. He's in perfect position right here, but you can see the size of Randy Moss. No match for Dre Bly.
And you can see that size. It wasn't a push down. Bly was just trying to get someplace to get up near the ball. That was not offensive pass interference. Gostowski has the extra point. Got there 23 times last year. This is the third receiving touchdown of 08 for Randy Moss. Well, every time you see Randy Moss catch a touchdown, adds to National Football League history. Our pal Chris Carter in the studio, edging up on you, CC. 3 away now. Randy Moss, number 127, 7 behind T.O., and 70 behind the incomparable Jerry Rice, who played in more Monday Night Football games than anyone, by the way. Third and long, passing down for Cassel. Gets it to Moss with offensive linemen paving the way. Moss to the end zone. Second touchdown of the night. The Gillette jump.
A very nice changeup in the design by Josh McDaniels. Normally they run that little bubble screen out to the left. It'll be Wes Welker. Wes Welker makes a great block that frees up Randy Moss for the touchdown. Randy come back and say, thanks, Mayor, little fella. Help me get in the end zone.
Logan Mankin, 70, also cleared a path for Randy, who has 2 more touchdowns on Monday Night Football. The Welker 44-yard punt return set it up. The Moss score is 27. The Patriots score is 27. Still got some of it. So let's explain this here. This guy, a Randy Moss fan from the Minnesota days. Randy's 7 great years as a Viking, sitting in the front row there. So Moss touchdown on that and honors the guy with that little hop up there.
Crowd is fired up right now. Randy's got him going.
My radio partner Scott Van Pelt always says it's a week-to-week league. And you talk about week-to-week, how things have flipped here in 1 week. Moss getting to the end zone for the 16th time on Monday Night Football. Only player who's had at least 1 touchdown per Monday night appearance. Just hopping on, Champ Bailey left this game with a groin injury in the first half. Since then, Randy Moss has 2 touchdowns and another grab there of 11 to the 31 in front of Dre Bly, who took the worst of it. And he's down. So a couple of corners injured for Denver here tonight, and it looks like Randy felt a little bit of that contact as well.
And it started out with Champ Bailey matched up against Randy Moss to start this game. Of course, Bailey went out, and you'll see Randy Moss, but great coverage by Champ Bailey. Nowhere to put the football. Now you see the injury to Champ Bailey. He goes out. Now here's where Randy Moss became a factor. On Dre Bly, high throw, touchdown. Bubble screen, touchdown. Randy Moss became very active when Champ Bailey went out of the game.
And back to Moss for a second as they'll get Bly up off the field. You know, I was wondering about Randy coming in after Tom Brady leaves for the season. And what was Randy doing to kind of fill that void? Because you need some big star on offense to step into that big personality. Tom is his team, you know, from the linemen to all the skill position players. And I've been told by so many of the folks around the Pats that Randy Moss has been a good leader internally on this team. Positive, keeping the other guys going. Involved with the wide receivers. And the exterior never really gives you a feel for that with Randy. But you talk to the people who have played with Randy Moss over time, or Chris Carter talks about this a lot. You talk to the folks around the Patriots, and they are pleased that Moss has stepped into some of that void without Tom Brady here.
I remember when Moss came to New England, and I was one of those people who said that New England had made a deal with the devil, and that Randy Moss would be a terrible teammate and he wouldn't be any good at all. And the first thing Belichick and all the Patriots said last year was how smart he was about football and how well he'd fit in. And he did, and I was wrong. A lot of people like me were wrong about that.
Very well tonight. I like the movement in the pocket and back shoulders this throw to Randy Moss. Here, just a little bubble screen, an easy throw, but I love the design of the play by Josh McDaniels.
Good night. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. See you next Monday night.
Plenty of time. Has yet another completion. That is Randy Moss for the first down inside the 15. That is the 800th catch for Randy Moss as he becomes the 20th player to do that.
With Randy Moss, if he would run across the middle, or if they would run him across the middle, he'd be wide open, because as a corner, you're playing the vertical. All you think with Randy Moss is he's going to go deep.
Looking downfield, has 81 for another first down. Gain of 16.
And you've got to go to him. You've got to give your big weapon guy a chance. And right now, Fakir Brown is thinking go route. So look at all the cushion he gives Randy Moss. So now Moss comes up 12 yards, turns around, and is wide open for a catch. When you have a guy that's respecting his deep ability, his speed, a lot of that underneath stuff is wide open, but you got to give him chances to make a play for you.
Moss coming off of his first 2-touchdown game of the season Monday night. Cassel pressured, hits Moss in the open field. Gets it inside the 30, inside the 20, and he is out of bounds. There is a flag back at the 43.
Holding defense, number 50. Penalty is declined. First down.
The Rams are going to blitz here and leave Moss in single coverage. Fakir Brown backs off, and I talked earlier about if Randy would run those intermediate routes, or if they'd run them there, a lot of room inside because DBs just play him to go up the field. Randy Moss runs that quick slant. You see all the room he's got to run.
30-yard pass and catch from Cassel to Moss. So Mr. Moss back in action, looking for a little more damage. We got a tie game. Cassel has it flutter, but Moss snags it out of the air for another first down and a gain of 12. Fakir Brown on the coverage.
And again, in the middle of the field, that's where we've seen Randy Moss make his catches today. Slants, deep in routes, short in routes. Again, matched up on Fakir Brown, just going to run over the middle. Crossing route, get him the ball. Fakir Brown's been giving him that route all day long, trying to protect the deep throw.
Cassel looking for Moss. Good coverage again by Fakir Brown as Moss, it looked like maybe he had a shot at that one.
Yeah, Moss dropped that ball. Good throw by Cassel. Moss just single coverage on that 7 route, the corner route. That just goes right through his hands. That's a ball that Randy Moss is going to catch 9 out of 10 times.
And he has doubled his sack total to 4 today. But Moss has enough for a first down and gets it inside the 40. Gain of 23.
And where'd he catch that ball?
In the middle of the field.
Like I've been saying all day long, a lot of room for Randy Moss. People playing vertical over the top, but the safety's too deep. You see O.J. Atagwe so deep playing over the top. Moss now takes it across the field. A lot of room in there.
Randy with one of his better pass-catching days of the season, 5 for 91. Cassel looking, hits Moss yet again for his 6th catch of the afternoon. Gets it down to the 20. Gain of 8.
And John, when you talk about opening it up, you have to think about this guy, Randy Moss.
Yeah, and you think of the inexperience of the Colts corners and not throwing the ball to Randy Moss. That's a mistake. I know that that you're conservative and you want to throw quickly, you want to throw underneath, you want to throw what the defense gives you, but someplace you have to take stuff too. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, Matt Cassel is a guy that will take what the defense gives him. Tom Brady was a guy that would take what he wanted. Yeah, now here's what they did to Randy Moss in the first half, and you'll see that they did have a safety over the top, but Here's one where he's man on man, and then again it's just zone, and as he goes through those windows, you know, he was taken care of. But here's where they should have thrown the ball to him. I don't even know that Matt Cassel looked over there, but when you get him man on man, you just have to throw that ball up there in the end zone to be a touchdown.
Welker and Moss on the same side right now, and finally gets Moss, and Sanders said, well, I knew sooner or later they were going to go after you, and I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the way to go after him with Randy Moss. And you know, it's on a screen pass where he just, you know, stays right on the line of scrimmage and tries to get a block from Welker there. And
3rd and 5. Cassel to Moss. Covered by Ratliff, but he picks up the first down. So Moss makes his second catch of the half, second catch of the game. That moves the chains.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at some point you just have to say, look, we just have to try Randy Moss out there. Maybe Ratliff is okay. Maybe he can cover him. He was on the streets Wednesday.
And was limited in practice this week. And here's the pass down to Moss. And Moss will have enough for the first down. He's tackled there by Kewan Ratliff as we tick down under 3 minutes to go in the third.
Now we're kind of getting into the game that you anticipate when you have the Patriots and the Colts.
Moss shut out in the first half. They never even looked at him to throw a pass to him. And then here in the second half, the first pass was just good for 1 yard. Now he's picked up a total of 21 in 3 grabs and a first down here. And that pass is caught, so he goes to Moss for a very key 3rd down conversion. Randy Moss got inside Jennings, and they moved the chains.
You know, and the Colts didn't blitz. They decided they were going to blitz, and here they come, and then they go to Randy Moss. Matt Cassel does a good job of reading that. He knows, okay, it's a blitz, then I know I have man-to-man out there on Randy Moss, and I'm going to get him the ball.
You didn't say it because you would have put the kibosh on him. On first down, Randy Moss makes the catch. And now this is Moss. And Moss will look to lateral when he can. Just gives up the football.
2nd and 4. And under center is Cassel. Lots of time. Wide open. Randy Moss. First down at the 42. And Moss just tore apart Buffalo's defense last year. He had in 2 games 6 touchdown catches.
And when he gets first downs and he gets touchdowns this year, I mean, obviously it's a fact that when you get Randy Moss involved, you're going to win. But this year, more than any other, when they lose is when they don't get touchdowns at him and they ignore him and don't get him first downs.
4 touchdowns this year. At this point a season ago, he had 12. On his way to leading the league with 23. Mentioning Moss, stunning 6 touchdown grabs in 2 games against the Bills a year ago. Week 3 at home, 2 touchdowns in the Patriots' 38-7 victory.
Wow, then that second game, 4 touchdowns in that game up there in Orchard Park, and Brady and he just tortured this defense.
56-10 result. Most touchdown receptions given up by the Bills in their history in one game. Long pass to the sidelines to Moss, and a first down at the 44. Steps out in front of Terrence McGee.
Wow, what a beautiful job. You can see the chemistry's coming between these two. Back shoulder throw. By back shoulder, I mean the one there. Drive off the corner. Beautiful footwork after the catch. Possession, 2 steps, good catch.
19-yard result. Yeah, didn't have much of a chance last week in the loss against Indianapolis. Here's a reverse to Moss, and Moss hitting the backfield, skips away from that tackle, but coming up quickly is Brian Scott from his safety spot to force a loss on the play. Cassel underneath, complete to Moss. Short yardage to the 47-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd and long. Terrence McGee, the tackler.
You know, I mentioned it earlier about getting Randy Moss involved. Didn't have a ball thrown at him, much less have one in the first half last week.
Look at that. Watch out, Shannon. Here comes Moss. He's tied you now in career catches, 815, 17 most all time in NFL history. First down on a 27-yard pass. Here comes Cassel back to the sideline to Moss, and another good gainer of about 9 yards at the 44 of Buffalo. Cassel pump and goes long, and Moss is open. And at the last minute, and closing quickly, Terrence McGee to swat it away.
A little too much air. Matt Cassel got that up a little too high. The wind, remember, he's going in the direction, the wind's coming the other way. The ball floats a little. Look at Randy Moss. He's wide open. You drop that over the top into the corner, it's a touchdown. He has to hesitate and come back, and McGee's there and able to make the play.
McGee at only 5'9", and giving away more than a half a foot, but got that right hand in there in time. What a job. And there's a drill to Moss, and a first down at the 48 in front of Terrence McGee as Moss spears that for the first down.
Well, from the very first play, it's been Terrence McGee. You've got 81. You see him play off a little bit, but he's manned up with 81. He's got the help inside. He's not letting him get deep, but Moss last week, not a ball thrown at him, not a catch in the first half. He's been constantly not only on Buffalo's mind, he's been front of mind for Matt Cassel.
Well, certainly on the outside, it's going to be an interesting night. Two old war horses going at it. Ty Law just signed this week in the starting lineup, going out there against Randy Moss, and certainly Ty Law is not going to be able to run with Randy Moss, but he can get physical, he can get up in his face, and he's going to try and get a piece of him early.
Little play fake on 1st and 10, looking for Randy Moss, and he sails it over his head with Rhodes and Lowry on the coverage.
Well, and this is what we have not seen this season out of the Patriots that we obviously saw a lot of a season ago. Tom Brady led the NFL with 31 pass completions of 30 yards or more a season ago. And so far this season, Matt Cassel has only completed 3 passes over 30 yards. And certainly nobody's going to match what happened last year. It was historic in the NFL. But that big a contrast is pretty shocking. Well, Ty Law working on Randy Moss on the outside, and again, he had single coverage. Early on, Randy Moss has been battling pretty well with Ty Law, and then of course he had the hook up there. He had the hook up down on the end zone. But I think that Matt Cassel has to start to recognize this man coverage. He had a big opportunity on the corner route that time to Moss and didn't look that way.
The play fake to Falk. Sam Aiken. Sam Aiken gets a block. Aiken in jet territory and knocked down at the 30-yard line from behind.
And that's what springs this thing. One of the things that Bill Belichick wants.
Randy Moss, no catches in this football game, Chris.
Yeah, we were trying to calculate what just a couple of balls thrown to him in the first half, and let's give some credit to Ty Law. Of course, Randy's blocking on that play, but it has been a physical game. And I think one of the things that they're going to have to try and do with Randy Moss is get him some quick release, slant kind of balls, and just try to get him, maybe put him in motion, a little pick play to get Ty Law off him. Just get him the ball somehow, some way, get him going in this game, because right now he's just sort of succumbing to the pressure that's being presented by Ty Law.
Dan Copeland back in at center on a 1st and 10. Cassel, there's Randy Moss. And that one gains a grand total of 2. Randy Moss says, let's get it going offense. Jets by 11.
At some point in the game, Bob, I think that you have to, Randy Moss is running some deep routes down the field, but there are ways to get him open underneath, and he's working against Dwight Lowry, the rookie, in underneath coverage. So you have to be able to take advantage, put him in motion, pick somebody, rub off of somebody, but get him in space and let him beat Lowry. He can do it easily.
The 27 seconds to go in the third. The Patriots in business. Randy Moss with his 2nd catch of the ball game. He takes it to the 10.
Matt Cassel has just done a great job on recognition with that all night.
Cassel looking for Moss. He's wide open and he overthrows him. He had Ahmad Carroll beat.
Well, You don't want to rub it in and say it too often, but the deep ball has just not worked for Randy Moss and Matt Cassel. And it was so dynamic a year ago, but Matt Cassel throughout the course of this season has simply missed Moss way too often. Ty Law now is going to back off Randy Moss and give him a free release. I don't know about that one.
Cassel avoids the sack. Cassel to the end zone in traffic. And it's caught on the sideline for a touchdown. Randy Moss with 1 second to go.
They back off and give Randy Moss space down the field. Then he gets rebound position here against Ty Law. Drags the feet.
It's a good catch.
Touchdown.
Because his right foot, it looked like it was on the ground as he made contact with the ball. This is a booth review.
It's close. Did that right foot come off the ground?
No, it's down right there. In fact, Law fell on, you know what, Chris? It looks like Law fell on the right foot and forced it down. Right there. One more look at it again. Right foot's on the ground. Comes up.
Oh, that is close.
Remember now, the ruling on the field is a touchdown. You know, you're looking at it in 2 dimension. You know, right there, is it on the ground?
Randy Moss all night. Here we are on the conclusive play. Ty Law backs off. Watch Randy Moss. Just simply get the rebound position, make the catch. Sensational throw. Great catch by Randy Moss. Unbelievable. You change strategy at that point, though.
Well, Matt Cassel.
And again out of the shotgun. Far side of the field. That's complete to Randy Moss. And Moss inside the 25 to the 21. And close to a first down.
Oh, Will Allen thought he had a play on that ball. This is a really good matchup. Will Allen going against Randy Moss. There they are, locked up at the top. You can see that Will Allen thought he had a play on the ball. That's why he went past Randy Moss. All right, here's the coverage. That's Randy Moss right there working against Jason Allen. Allen's got good coverage, gets up there and fights it. But I think a great pass from Matt Cassel. He put it up high. And then now, unfortunately for Cassel, this one was actually a pretty good pass.
On the outside, the pass is pulled in by Randy Moss. What a grab by Randy Moss.
I'll guarantee you Jason Allen, who had the coverage right now, is wondering, how was this possibly a reception? Randy Moss is running out of field. That's how. You stick up one hand and just snag it and pull it in. How about that? And he has complete possession, taps on the sidelines. Man.
Dan, you and I remember him making a one-handed, a one-armed catch between 2 defenders here last year.
Well, that's, you know, that kind of display we just saw from Randy Moss is why he has just literally caused sleepless nights for so many defensive backs in this league. His unnatural athletic ability, being so tall at 6'4", and those long arms, and he has gifted hands, you know, and of course he's fast. What isn't he? Maybe he doesn't go the fastest on every single play. You know what, not many guys in the league can make plays like he just made there.
Cassel with time throws. That's Randy Moss. Moss eludes 1 tackle to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown.
Well, take a picture of Randy Moss lowering his shoulder and running through a defender on his way into the end zone.
130th career touchdown receiving. That ties Chris Carter. They now share the number 3 spot.
And that was yards after the catch. Made a defender miss and ran through and over another one.
New England in the lead once again by 3.
Again, just a short little pass to Randy Moss. And he does it all right here. He makes Jason Allen miss. And then how about this? I'm going to lower my shoulder and head right into the end zone. Ronaldo Hill goes for the football instead of trying to really make the tackle. You can see him there at the end trying to strip out the football. He'd have been better served trying to get Randy Moss to the ground.
Back there in the pocket. On 2nd and 6, here come the Dolphins, and the quick pass to Randy Moss is complete for the first down inside the 40. Got rid of it. Over the middle. Caught inside the 25.
The pressure is going to come in from his left. And right up the middle, he gets a double hit.
Cassel throwing for the corner of the end zone. Caught, and a touchdown, Randy Moss.
Again, the tough assignment of one-on-one with Randy Moss. Allen saw that the ball was in the air and just couldn't get to it.
Gonna go again. Far sideline. This one is caught. Randy Moss for the touchdown. There is a penalty marker down, and it's going to be against the Miami Dolphins.
Andre Goodman locked up one-on-one with Randy Moss. He's playing the ball the whole way. The crowd reacting. What you couldn't see was his left arm going back prior to what we just saw right there. Goodman's left arm was going back to restrict Moss from going by. Right there, he pulls it back in. That's what the officials saw. Yep, Randy's on his back, but that's because Goodman is right there. If it wouldn't have been for throwing that arm back, Goodman wouldn't have been flagged. The reality is Moss caught it for a touchdown anyway.
Meanwhile, that's 3 touchdown catches for Randy Moss today. Randy Moss, 3 touchdowns, 125 yards. Pretty good day for him.
Yeah, I'd say so. And again, Matt Cassel had done a good job of finding Moss, and Randy Moss has done a superlative job of after the catch. You saw the one-handed stab. That's just a great throw. I know there's contact there. Moss has his arm on the back of Goodman, but he doesn't shove him. He doesn't gain anything by that contact, and I think that's the key why it was defensive interference and not offensive. Yeah, Randy Moss is having a few giggles over there with Jabbar Gaffney. They've had Randy Moss has had another Randy Moss type day.
Welcome back, everyone. First down at their own 20-yard line for the New England Patriots. And Matt Cassel, short drop, going to throw up the sideline, and that's caught by Randy Moss. Moss out of bounds across the 45 at about the 47-yard line.
Well, Ike Taylor, number 24, is going to shadow Randy Moss most of this ball game. And there's Ike Taylor starting out. And again, look at Randy Moss, that deceptive, you see he almost comes to a stop, and then he just accelerates into that void between the corner and the safety, in that case Polamalu. He lulls people to sleep.
Randy Moss comes off a spectacular 8-catch, 125-yard, 3-touchdown outing at Miami last week. With time, now running out of time, on the move, throws, has Randy Moss, and he dropped it.
All that wonderful work by the offensive line and by Matt Cassel of moving around, extending this play for 2 or 3 seconds. A good job by Randy Moss of staying active. Again, he settles in, breaks away, finds a clearing, and then that. So many good things negated by this play at the end. This ball, does it hit him in the face mask? After he bobbles it, it hits him right in the face.
Now on first down, Cassel on the slant. There's Randy Moss inside the 35 to the 30, and that's another Patriot first down.
Yeah, we saw Randy look that one in.
I asked you during the timeout, Dan, as to whether or not this kind of weather actually should make a player concentrate a little bit more than usual.
Well, you would think so. You'd think that you'd worry less about the yards after the catch and worry more about the catch itself. Well, this is focus right here. Randy Moss looks that ball right in. He snapped his head away, but you know, that was a pretty good job of getting it into the body and securing it. He knew he was going to take a pretty good shot.
2 catches for 44 yards for Randy Moss today. Cassel stepping up, same spot, touchdown. No, he dropped it.
All right, Ike Taylor is not in man coverage, zone all the way. Here comes Ferrier, and for the second time this half, Randy Moss just drops a pass that was right on his hands.
You saw Mike Tomlin pleading for a holding call that didn't come.
Well, it might have been late being thrown, but okay, you're past 5 yards. You just can't hold. I don't know why Ike Taylor thought that he could hold on to the left arm of Randy Moss that whole time. The interference happened 5-6 yards prior to that.
Safety blitz. Quick throw underneath, complete to Randy Moss for about 10. Moss's first catch and his 59th of the season.
Good recognition by Cassel and an easy one. Little push off, but hey, he's Randy Moss. You get away with that.
Sammy Morris now the setback. Fake to him, a fake to Welker, and now the long throw by Cassel to Moss. Just misses. Moss was open deep from the 43. Cassel to the side, complete to Randy Moss inside the 30. Though we're going to mark it right at the 30-yard line.
Going back to what you know works. One-on-one, Marcus Trufant working against Randy Moss. And you've got that extra yard or two pad. That is the respect you have to give Randy Moss, and that's all Cassel needs to fit that ball in. But if you're going to man him up, though, Dick, you're going to have a problem down the field.
And for Randy Moss, another milestone. He now has 13,000 yards in his career. Randy Moss, only 2 catches, 23 yards. He's gone over 13,000 yards in his career. That's 11th best all time.
Yeah, not hard to figure out with these Patriots lately, Dick, that you know, every week you say, well, how many catches does Randy Moss have? Well, look at the touchdown production when they win, and the touchdown and catches and everything. When they lose, you take away Randy Moss, you take away the big play from this offense.
Patriots, a long drive ends in 3. They trail by 1 in Seattle. This crowd really fired up now. Underneath and complete to Moss. Good defensive play again by Trufant. Marcus Trufant, who made the Pro Bowl a year ago. #1 pick, formerly at Washington State.
Well, Matt Cassel puts it in a perfect position, and it bounces right off Randy Moss's hands. And last week he had a couple of big drops.
Time for Cassel, and he's going to go long for Moss. And Moss has it and steps out of bounds inside the 20-yard line at the 18. Perfect throw and catch over Josh Wilson, the corner for Seattle.
Well, never mind about the Matt Cassel hand thing. I guess it was incidental. He was flexing it, but he drops this in and spins it perfectly to Randy Moss, who catches it and does a little 1-2 with his feet after he catches it to make it a catch. 1-2, inbounds, beautiful throw, wonderful catch. Wilson was helpless. How many times last year did you see Tom Brady throw it to that back shoulder? See the one in the back of Randy Moss's shoulder? Marcus Trufant's not even looking. He throws it to that back pylon. Throw it nearer to the near pylon. Throw it to the back shoulder.
Nice move up in the pocket by Cassel. That's caught, and it's Moss, and it's a touchdown pass as he burns the defensive back, Rashad Baker, on a 20-yard touchdown pass. The second TD pass thrown today by Matt Cassel.
It was pretty good. Watch him step up in here and make a great throw. Look at the coverage. Rashad Baker is right there. He put it in the only place that Randy Moss could make that catch. Using the boundary, bringing him back. Just a great throw by Matt Cassel.
Moss, who had 23 touchdown receptions a year ago, has his 9th TD reception. They've started in Raider territory twice, 2 Cassel touchdown passes, and 7:57 to play in the first.
You see right there Randy Moss with the catch. It's got to feel good coming back here to Oakland, scoring early in this game.
Morris was in the backfield, light with the block at the tackle. This is Moss. He beats Samoa. There's a flag down. The gain to the 29. 13-yard pickup as it stands right now.
Again, another flag in the secondary. They're going to call that on Asamoah.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 21 defense. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play, 1st and 10.
Moss used to work with Asamoah in practice.
Yeah, look at this. This is a good matchup. This is two of the better players at their positions. And I really thought the key for Cassel was to follow the lead of every other NFL quarterback who's faced the Oakland Raiders, work away from Nnamdi Asamoah. But they're going right at him early in this football game. You're just going to see Welker. He's going to work all the way back across the field. And Randy Moss really cleaned out that secondary for Wes Welker.
Defensive backs. 2nd down. Outside that goes to Moss. He works on Asamoah. He's got the 1st down. He's at the 44-yard line, picks up 11 yards.
And Nnamdi Asamoah has had a very boring season so far. Not a lot of action his way, but they're going after him. They're challenging. Look at his back shoulder throw. Purposely thrown behind him to slow him down the hole underneath Nnamdi Asamoah. He was going with Randy Moss most of the day. Nnamdi Asamoah has.
1st and 10. Cassel throws. Moss again. Covered by Asamoah. 14-yard pickup, another 1st down, 42 of the Raiders.
Right now, Randy Moss is winning that battle one-on-one with Nnamdi Asamoah. And I don't know that Nnamdi Asamoah has had to cover a guy that has the ability that Randy Moss has all season long. And people haven't challenged him. And you see the difference there. The familiar guy that played here in Oakland and in New England.
Blocked by Cassel. Touchdown, Moss, his 2nd today, as he beat Jabril Wilson in the back of the end zone. On that drive, Moss caught passes of 11 and 14 yards. Cassel has just thrown his 4th touchdown pass today.
This is what we talked about in the red zone, the guy they want to work. You see Welker underneath, he draws the crowd, and Randy Moss works right back over top in front of Jabril Wilson.
Randy Moss, one of the big headlines coming into this game, his return to the Raiders, the team he used to play for. He's killing them today.
There were some people in the Raider organization that didn't think Randy Moss could still be a productive player, and you look what he has done.
And out of bounds. Flag is thrown. Moss was the closest to it. Moss caught 2 touchdown passes today. And Randy, who continues to climb up the ladder, number 3 in all-time touchdown receptions. He got number 125 and 126.
Patriots offense. Off the play fake. First reception of the day for Randy Moss. Moss picks up a 1st down and more. Down the sidelines. Moss is going to take it all the way 76 yards for the touchdown.
Everybody remembers what the field looked like at the end of the 1st half. This crew's done a great job getting this field ready for the 2nd half. Call a play that you can take advantage of the condition of the field. They come out, run a quick screen, get everybody running. Randy Moss, untouched. Unbelievable. Little screen outside. Logan Mankins gets outside. Absolutely no contain. Nobody to force Randy Moss back inside.
11th touchdown of the season for Moss. 11th touchdown of the season for Randy Moss. He is now 16 yards shy of his 9th 1,000-yard season.
Meanwhile, Cassel to throw. Going to throw, and that's complete inside the 30-yard line to Randy Moss. Let's get an NFL Today report from James Brown in New York. JB. Meanwhile, Randy Moss with that catch passes Andre Reed, one of the great names in parts of the country.
No kidding. Tremendous receiver. Played here for Jim Kelly, Bills, and Thurman Thomas, and that awesome offense. He's on their wall of honor here at Ralph Wilson Stadium. And the other of Randy's accomplishments now is he ties Tim Brown and Jimmy Smith for having put together 9 1,000-yard seasons.